Hi, this is Majinoni. Hey, got some comic reviews for you. We have Ultimate Spider-Man number 20, Superior 3, Avengers 5, All New X-Men 7, and New Avengers 3. Okay, let's talk about Ultimate Spider-Man number 20. I am really enjoying Ultimate Spider-Man. I mean, for a while, I was kind of worried about it, and the Ultimates were actually my go-to book out of the Ultimate line. But the Ultimates, I think, have really dropped in overall quality. The Ultimate X-Men, same thing, dropped in a lot of quality. But Ultimate Spider-Man has been consistently solid. Bendis has been doing a fantastic job with it, and I like the way they're even handling the Miles, his character, because he's different. Like when I look at Miles, at no time am I reminded of Peter. Other than you can say there's some similarities because he's a kid, he's learning his powers, going to school, that kind of thing. But the type of person he is, he's different. I really enjoyed their new take on the Venom. When the Venom first appeared in the Ultimate line, to me it was just like, okay, we need to have like a checklist. We need to have Venom, we need to have Carnage, we need to do this, we need to do that, and I don't think they really gave it much thought as to the actual story content, how they looked, things like that. But when you look at this Venom looks a lot different than what he does in the regular Spider-Man issues, and I can really, really appreciate that. Just the tongue alone is just crazy. And the battle between the two is really good. What's kind of interesting is how Miles is trying to remember how Peter defeated Venom, and he's trying to basically follow in his footsteps, but things don't quite work out the way he expects it to. And especially when you get to the ending, there's some tragedy. We don't know the extent of the tragedy, but something bad happens. But overall, this is a solid read. The art, this is probably the best art in the Ultimate line, and this is a home run title. If you're a Spider-Man fan, I don't know why you're not reading this if you're not, because this is giving you a fresh concept, a fresh look, and it's really, so far, enjoyable. Superior Spider-Man, number 3. Slott really is doing a fantastic job with this. He's throwing a lot of little things here and there that are really making it really enjoyable and frustrating at the same time, and humorous. Like, for an example, this was released as like a previews where he showed JJJ with the Spider-Man signal, and how Octo Spider-Man basically was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I thought that was like a really funny take on the Batman, concept of the bat signal. But this also leads to his eventual fight with the Vulture. Now, along the way, we get more clues that, yeah, this really isn't Peter. And Charlie's picking up on it, which is awesome for us, but at the same time, for her character, it's getting kind of deadly the more she kind of hints that she knows that there's something not right. And again, true to Octo's word, he is superior to Peter. He lays the trap for the Vulture at the beginning. He fixes up his eye lenses, and he even tries to solve the Vulture case in a non-violent manner, if you can believe it or not. And things don't quite work out the way he expects it to. Because what happens is, if you remember the Vultures, originally Octo thinks that they're midgets, but in reality they're children, and that brings back a memory where he was beaten by his dad. And what's really also interesting is how Spider-Man's able to access these memories. Now, we know that in the past, Spider-Man with Peter was able to do that, before his death. But now he's trying to figure out, hey, I wonder if I can manipulate this, change things. And if he's able to do something like that, that's setting the stage for his eventual comeback. And what I think is also really good is when you see Spider-Man, it's like just the way his face looks, even with the mask, you can see the anger that's just coming through this thing. And I mean, Octo Spider almost even kills the Vulture, and you can just see the savagery that's inside of him. And this is like, I don't know, I guess you can say this is feeding us in the sense of, I've always wanted to know what Spider-Man would be like if he was ever pushed to the edge, because we're seeing this kind of brutality. And it's, I don't know, I'm really excited, I'm really enjoying this. And it's you know, while I know this isn't going to last, and on the other hand too, I wouldn't want this to last. There's only so much of this I can take before I go, okay guys, that's enough. But overall, this is a home run. Oh, definitely, it's a home run title. The art's solid, the writing is good, the characterization is good, and Slott's feeding us a little bit at a time, where we're able to find out somebody's figuring things out, and the seeds are being planted for Peter's eventual return. So I think it might even be sooner than expected, especially with how these issues are coming out. Now, on to the Avengers number 5. Like I mentioned in the pool, this is basically Hickman's origin of the Smasher. And they go into some history of the Imperial Guard, how there's multiple Smashers, Crushers, Mantas, things like that. And basically, some evil thing is in the universe. The Smasher comes to Earth to warn us, but dies, and a young farm girl picks it up, goes into space, blah. Rest is history. I guess you can almost say this is almost like a reverse Superman type thing. But anyways, they take some liberties in time, and then eventually another galactic crisis is coming, and the Smasher has to involve the Avengers, which leads to the next issue. Something, or I should say someone, is coming. And I think we all are speculating who that someone is, but, you know, I think we've all read the previews. But anyways, Kubert did a really good job with the artwork. It kind of remained similar to the first few issues, and yet I think he improved on it, which is something that I really liked. There are pictures that I think that are kind of weak, especially with scenes with the Imperial Guard, but overall I think it's decent, you know, in the sense that it's giving it its own unique style and flavor compared to the rest of the Marvel books that are out, especially the big, you know, superhero tier titles. Other than that, I don't know, I guess you can say it's one of these things that it's nice seeing special attention being brought to certain characters, but I have a feeling with all of the other characters, I have a feeling some of these guys are just going to get lost in the process, which I'm not sure if that's good or bad yet. Depending, I guess it's going to depend on, you know, what they have planned for them. But it looks like at least Smashers, they're planning on her to stay around for a while. Overall, I thought it was a decent read. It's a good jumping on point, but it's nothing earth-shattering. Because, like, again, this is they're setting the stage for someone coming. Okay, all new X-Men. This is pretty much a Cyclops-focused issue. The art was good. It's not XMen, but it was still good. Overall, while I can notice the difference, it's nothing that I would like. It's not a shock to the system, so to speak. But it's basically, the key to the story here is Cyclops meeting Mystique, and Mystique feeding young Cyclops some intel. And, you know, she's basically trying to stir the pot a little bit so this way that she can do her nefarious plans, you know, like, without being bothered. Overall, I think Bendis is doing a really strong, solid job, and I mean, it's one of those things where it's like I don't want to see it go, but yet you know it has to go, and it better go. Better go back. This title better end, unless of course he goes back, and then they start redoing the old X-Men, but I eventually do want the old cast to go back to their own time. There's some really nice interaction between Kitty Pryde and young Bobby Drake, which I thought was kind of funny during training. And I don't know. I guess you can say it's this is the new X-Men has basically become a title that I look forward to reading now. The one thing that does worry me is the frequency of these titles. They're coming out so fast that it makes me wonder, you know, can they keep up? Are they going to get burned out? Are we going to get burned out? Now, personally, since I'm a manga fan, I honestly cannot wait until the next One Piece comes out. I can't wait till the next Naruto comes out. Or my newest favorite is Mahou Shoujo of the End, which is Magical Girl of the End with zombies and blood and stuff like that. It's awesome. So I can't wait for those chapters to come out. But for comics, it's a little bit different because, you know, with manga, the creative team always stays the same. I mean, you know, granted, they might hire and fire their assistants, and I realize their assistants do most of the work, but the thing with a manga is the look always remains constant. But with comics, you're constantly getting changes. I mean, like I said, we've already have artistic changes already, and because, you know, I know it's hard for these guys to keep up. So that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about a quality drop along the way, and just eventually just getting kind of bored with it. But so far, home run. Now, New Avengers. I saved this last for a reason, because this is going to contain some spoilers. And if you didn't want the spoilers, you can just stop now. But I have a feeling some of you are staying on because of the spoilers. Now, what we have here is this. Hickman basically gathers the heroes. And we learn that Professor X has left a trigger for Beast, so this way he can get the Mind Gem. Once the Beast acquires the Mind Gem, he's picked up by Black Bolt and company, and he joins the Illuminati whether or not he wants to or not. Which I think is kind of odd, because, you know, his attitude is, you know, I really don't want to be here. And you know, like, Namor's like, kick him to the curb, we don't need him. But, like, Reed is like, nope, it's obvious Professor X said that you're here, so gave you the gem, so he wants you here, so welcome aboard. And it's, you know, something like the Illuminati, you kind of think that it should be volunteer. You know, you don't want this guy who doesn't want to be there making decisions. Now, granted, the Beast would be the right person in the absence of Professor X because of his intellect, and he's able to look at the big picture, but he doesn't want to be there. I don't know. And there's some of these pictures, he reminds me of Hellboy, too. The way he looks, in his face. But anyways, what they basically do is they assemble the Infinity Gauntlet, and they're going to push the planets away. Which sounds like it's a sound plan, but there's a problem. Okay, problem number one. They assemble the Gauntlet, they give it to Captain America. Now, who do we see here? We see Thanos. Thanos is dead. Thanos is in the Cancerverse, and he is dead. Now, I fully understand that he's alive again in Avengers Assemble. But to me, that book doesn't exist. That's an abomination that is just used to sell comic books to people who watch the movie. So I don't care what their reason is as to why Thanos is alive and well. In my viewpoint, Thanos died. He died in the Cancerverse with Nova. And this panel should not even be there. Beyond that, what eventually happens is, while the glove is successful in moving the one planet away, I found that it was interesting how there's certain desperation in, like, the voice of Tony. And in a way, Captain America is the right person to give it to, because even though they say, well, the glove works best with somebody who, you know, like, has that belief, meaning Cap believes in the plan, so Cap would be the one person to give the glove to, because he has the strongest will to make that happen. But I also think he's the right person because he's the one person that would actually take the glove off. In this case, he doesn't have to worry about that because there's feedback after he pushes the planet away, and all of the gems shatter except for time. Now, I have a feeling the time gem is going to be key somewhere down the road. And I have a feeling also if the time gem broke, something else bad would happen. But I have a feeling this is our loophole for something. Now, see, and here's another picture that just reminds me of Hellboy. But anyways, this is the key part. They have a meeting after this to determine what to do the next time something happens like this. Because in theory, another planet could come back and collide. Now, this is the heavy spoiler part. And I know this is going to be a very controversial moment. What we have here is Captain America is pretty much at odds with pretty much everybody in the room. And he asks Black Panther, "Can I count on you?" And Black Panther basically says, "When have you known me not to do the right thing?" That's very critical. Because what happens is when they go back into the room, they have this nice argument. And basically what the argument is this: at what cost will you go to defend the planet from utter destruction? Captain America believes that there's a line in the sand you can't cross. You can never create something that's the all-powerful kill weapon to kill. Because once you do that to create the weapon to save the planet from another collision, then the thought is there. So when do the next threat that comes, do we use it for that? And then basically it comes down to a point in time where it's going to corrupt you, where you'll just use it instead of trying to find a better way to solve the problem. And part of that is correct. Captain America is correct in that you shouldn't necessarily go to the kill thing first. You should look for other solutions. The surprising thing is how Reed is so willing to just go with this plan of kill the planet. It doesn't matter. And, Reed's reasoning is, well, I have a family. But, fine, he might have a family, but think about all the billions of people on the other planet that you just obliterated. And, Tony, I can understand saying that. I can understand Black Bolt saying that. I can say Namor saying that. But Black Panther's like, I'm the voice of a nation. I'm doing the right thing. Destroy the planet. I got to protect my people. And even the Beast is like, you're asking somebody who faced extinction, on what to do. And basically everybody turns on Cap. Now, this is the part of the story where everybody's going to go, you copy DC. And you know what? I agree on every level. They copy DC. And on that side of it, I am disappointed in Marvel for doing what they did. But this is significantly worse than what DC did. If you remember, in Identity Crisis, Dr. Light was raped Elongated Man's wife. I think that was her. And they mind-wiped him and neutered him so he wouldn't do it again. And he also knew secret identities, I believe, too. Batman discovered this, and he tried to stop them, and then they mind-wiped him. And then they went ahead and they started tampering with other villains. Now, keep in mind, this is Batman. This is a guy who's secretive. This is a guy who comes up with secret plans to dismantle his friends. This is a guy who's not trusting. And while he's a pillar in the JLA of strength and reliability, he has a darkness around him. This is Captain America we're talking about. They mind-wipe Cap. And basically, it's like like an angel and a demon. Batman's the demon and Captain America's the angel. Okay, I can understand that you mind wipe demon, but you mind wipe Cap. Cap is your go-to guy. Cap is the one guy who is your morality. He's the guy that you look to as your guide, so you know you're doing the right thing. If he says no, that's not the way to go. He's probably correct on that. There probably is a better solution than what you were thinking. You know, maybe his solution isn't the best and only, but the fact that he says that, you know, maybe you shouldn't come up with a doomsday weapon because you're going to kill everything and it's going to be on a downward spiral, you might want to listen. But Reed and Tony and Doctor Strange, I can understand the other one. I can't even agree with Black Panther because this isn't the Black Panther from the 70s and 80s, you know. This is a different one. And so I understand his motives and stuff like that are a little bit different. But Reed, Doctor Strange, Tony, mind wiping, poof, gone. He doesn't remember any of this happened. And, you know, there is going to be some serious hell to pay when he remembers. And you better believe he will remember at some point in time. And the interesting thing about the Illuminati is, if you really think about it, these individuals have given themselves godhood, in a sense. They're tampering and they're making decisions that are affecting their world. And they're doing it on a level without anybody checking, and there's no checks and balances. Remember what they did with the Skrulls. They go, okay, well, we're just going to go attack the Skrulls, and we won't tell anybody, and then the Skrulls stole their DNA. And, you know, granted, while a force like this is important, there's nobody there to monitor them to make sure that they don't stray from the path. And this is a key moment in time, in that while they might have drifted, they've seriously strayed from the path. And I think that while this is a copy of what they did to Batman, I think that this is infinitely worse. You know, I can't imagine ever a time. I mean, I could imagine them mind wiping Batman, but I can't. I never imagined in my wildest dreams they would have done this to Captain America, ever. And I'm shocked at the Beast. I mean, now granted, it doesn't even look like the Beast is really on board with this plan either, you know, based on the way he's sitting there. But I don't know. This is like huge, and I need the next. It's not that I need the next issue. I need the next couple trades. I need the run, because I have a feeling Hickman has to probably resolve this mind wipe before his run's done. I can't imagine him keeping it until somebody else decides to pick it up. But this is huge. This is very, very big. And I wonder if this is going to carry over into anything else. I'm like torn. But I'd really like to hear what you guys feel about that, because this is, like I said, big news. Let me get you a code. Rate the video up or down. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like I always point to the wrong spot. Like the Facebook link and the Crunchyroll. I do Crunchyroll reviews. That's TMM197B JLT94. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video up or down, let me know what you think. I'll have more reviews. I'm falling behind. I have a stack of books. I want to do some more reviews, so hopefully I'll get some of those done. And until next time.